You have a quack. Can you explain a quack? I know what's being said. There's a lonesome hen quack. There's a disturbance quack. There's a notification quack. How do you make a quack? What would you say? Like, we talked about the air pressure in your hand. Are you saying a word? Some people say hoot. Are you actually saying a word, or are you? What are you doing with that air to get that? Let me hear what a quack sounds like real quick. Real soft. Oh, that is so ducky right there. You don't need to overblow it.
No. Just that pressure. Putting that pressure in there, coming back.
Okay. How are you doing that?
So what I'm doing in the call is I'm actually saying oot, oot. But again, and we talked about this before, is I'm not really saying the word oot. I'm not saying the word hut. All that is to try to give guys that are just getting into duck calling a starting point. Where to start from. You know, how to emphasize that pressure in there. And so what I say in the call is oot, but it's and I almost whistle.
And it's almost like you're pulling that air back a little bit, right?
Well, I'm not really pulling it back. I'm closing my throat off.
Okay.
Every time I throw that quack out, I'm closing my throat off.
Does that sound like a duck?
Exactly, and then you could take, and a quack is not, there's not really a definition for a quack as far as a perfect quack. A quack can be short, it can be a little bit longer, it can be strung out.
Yeah, that sounds good. So now when you start to put quacks together, does that become a greeter? Does that become a cadence of quacks?
That becomes a cadence.
So I want to go into that next. And then after that, I want to talk about how to mix that quack into a feed chatter. And then I want to talk about how to mix them all together. So we did the quack. I want to go into a greeter. Then I want to go into a feed chatter. And then I want to talk about how do you mix that lonesome hen and those quacks with your greeters, into your chatter, and then make that whole decoy spread come alive with ducks doing a bunch of different things like live wild ducks do.
Okay.
I like that. So just all it is just a popping it and closing the throat.
Yep.
That's the quack. The basic. Again, that's the foundation of what you're doing on a duck call.
Again, you can extend it out. You can make it short. Ducks that are sitting on the water, they tend to hopping around. Just a quack is deadly, believe it or not.
Deadly. Now, real quick before we leave this tip, and it's a little bit advanced, but a flat quack. We got to talk about a flat quack real quick and the difference. You're popping that one with some air pressure. You got that hot pressurized air going, and you're popping it, and then you're closing your throat off.
So actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually just blowing the call. I'm just putting air, almost like what we're telling people not to do, blow the call. You actually just take air and just let that reed rattle.
That's a flat quack. God, Doug, I hear him do that all the time.
So a guy that basically, wants to learn how to do a flat quack, you got to take that air pressure off and take that hot air off and just blow cold air.
Do it again.
I know that kind of makes... Take that rasp away.
Man, that sounds good. So you got the quack and the flat quack.
Quack and flat quack.
The flat quack is underutilized, not used enough.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even really use a flat quack.
I want to start using it. I want you to teach me that.
All right.
That's awesome. Let's move on to the greeters.
All right.